Lynn, welcome. Hare Krishna. So Lynn, welcome. And Rupanuga Prabhu, welcome. Leelamoy Prabhu, welcome. Seva Rupa Devidasi, welcome. And of course, our host, we wouldn't be here without her. And that is Praneshwari Devidasi looking after us here. Welcome. And Anu Krishna Devidasi, in the middle of the night coming to join us. Very good. All right, so here is 3 a.m. Oh, I shouldn't speak too loudly, but they're used to aeroplanes here, so I don't think my voice will disturb them too much. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Pitams Cha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namah Vanchakalpa Turubhyas Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda, Govinda, welcome those who joined us in the last minute or so. Paramananda Prabhu, Ramsundar Prabhu, Narottam Nittai Prabhu, Danake, all have come to join us. Welcome. And a heart from Dana, accepted by us all. All right, well, today here it's 3 a.m. and I haven't looked on the calendar to see if it is a special day. Just wondering if it is. Taking a quick look now. The 21st of May, 2023, if anyone's counting. Not today, but yesterday was the installation of Shri Radha Madana Mohanju in Dum Dum Park, and also the day, I believe, of the installation of Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Giridhari, if I'm not mistaken, in Sokel Ashram. Because yesterday I did hear the talk which is posted on the MAT website, scsmat.com, and Gurudev Srila Govinda Maharaj was discussing about the names of the deities and giving an indication how he didn't flippantly give a name, or Guru Maharaj didn't just, a name of Krishna that sounds nice, like, we like the name of such and such and such and such. But with some purpose, giving names for the deities, naming the deities. And a very sweet talk yesterday. So today, let us start Zoom with question time. We'll start with question time and see how we go. And Paramanand was getting ready because he knows he's in queue for the answering of the question time too.
Yes, Maharaj. Please check the chat because we have a question there.
Check the chat. Click. Gangalila Devirasi. Oh, you came in very quietly. Please excuse, I didn't notice you entering. You were invisible as you entered. Hare Krishna. So Gangalila giving Dandabas and Praneshwari Devi Das is saying, Narottam Nittai Das asks, Dear Maharaj, what are the benefits of reading about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The Chaitanya Bhagavat the Chaitanya Charitamrita is there, or is there a guarantee benefit for reading the books in their entirety? Prabhu. The guarantee is sincerity. This is my composition for the morning. And even with sincerity, we may be kept waiting at the door for some reason. For some reason of the Lord, to increase our anticipation, to increase our separation, to increase our focus. There may be some reason. So still we have to come to the path of sincerity and the path of adjusting to the environment and seeing that everything is the Lord's will. And no, Naratam Nitai Prabhu, it is really, there's not this like guarantee that if I do this, I will get that, therefore I am doing this. Because this is within that realm of calculative devotion. And that is more or less putting ourselves still at the center, that I want to get benefit. But our masters stand as the guarantee that all of this is very good for us and will be successful one day. But to think that we can make the Lord our servant, that I have done this, so I must get that, is not the healthy approach to reading, not the healthy approach to doing any seva at all. That we do so many things in the temple for service, but still something bad happens to us. And what are we going to think if we think only in the way that oh, I'm doing good, so now I must get only good come back. I'm doing this, so I must get that result. And rather, from the beginning of our activities, Guru Maharaj explains that what is devotion? It's not just, I do whatever I want. I mean, okay, something's better than nothing. But in the home country, it's not that I do whatever I want, and then, oh, I've made this beautiful picture, and then I made nice, now I'm going to offer it to Krishna. Rather, from the very beginning, something needs to be with the conception that this is service, and I am going to offer this, this is being required of me, is the very best of all. I'm getting direction to do something from a senior section, that I'm doing something in service selflessly and happily from the conception, from the beginning of the idea, through the doing, and then through to the offering. Everything will be done as a selfless activity, and not that I'm doing this because I have read that if I do this, I will get that. And also, we can understand that if we get a bit of an explanation, we're sitting beside Gurudev or Guru Maharaj, they will say, yes, if you do that with full faith, sincerity, chastity, and devotion, yes. But if you're doing that, excuse me, if you're doing that as a business transaction, then Krishna is not our puppet. He's not our order supplier. He's not, as I see increasingly in the West, they've got machines, and actually in Japan, I'm a little bit reminded of Japan, they got so many dispensing machines. You put your money in a slot, or not even money, you put your phone or your piece of plastic against the machine, press a button, and then you choose, I want this drink, I want that drink, and it comes out. So Krishna is not a vending machine that we will put our card or do something and then choose what I want. So this idea of selfless service, it is here in this world, and it is a happy thing in this world to do things for others. I mean, others who are friends, others who you're happy to give assistance to in some way. Not just, as we say, going to empty out our bank account, and then the first beggar in the street that we see would say, oh, here you are. You know, here's $30,000 or whatever is in your bank account. but here, here's everything I have. I want to give it away. Here, you take it. Then find a beggar in the street. 2 weeks later, he's dead because he bought all this heroin and all this other stuff. Such a good time. How is that beneficial? But to do selfless activity for those who are worthy for doing selfless activity too, if you like, then that is really the purpose. Even in this world, we want to help others who need help. And family means family also, not as a business. I remember before coming to Krishna consciousness, but I remember years ago, I did have some capacity for looking after vehicles because we always had old vehicles and they always needed looking after. So anyhow, and that did give us a background for doing safaris where you do have to look after vehicles by yourself in the middle of nowhere. But then I was with some relatives between safaris one time. And then one of my relatives, they said, oh, the brakes on my car, they're very bad. And I said, oh, I'll fix them for you. And then she said, oh, how much do you want? I'll pay you for it. I said, no. And then I felt almost not insulted, but, and it was your aunt's daughter. So anyway, all grown up and everything. But when it's your relative, you're not going to fix their brakes or do something to help them out. So you get money, you're doing it all. So yes, I'll do it for you. I'm free. I'm not working. I'm between safaris. It's a matter of an hour or so. But then when she said, oh, how much do you want? I'll pay you. I said, no, please, I'm not doing for pain. So when it's family, even in this world, you don't want to get payment for doing something. You just want to do something to help out, mow the lawn to help out. How many times in our earlier life, we just mowed the lawn, carried the bricks to somewhere or did something. So in a family like that. So what to speak of Krishna's family? The land where everyone's helping everyone else. And no one is exploiting from anyone else. No one is pushing others down. No, you don't have to be on your guard. Like Madhavananda Prabhu, our good devotee from USA, professional. He was in banking and he went through all the education, the student loans, passing his exams, going through the career. And he said that corporate life, he said, most of the time you're having to cover your back against being like stabbed so that others can step on your grave, kind of thing, whatever the expression is, step into your boots. And so everyone's trying to push others down so they can get promotion. And they're trying to take credit for things that you've done. And they're trying to pick the faults or try to find something that they can accuse so that in the board meeting or in the meetings they're pushing down that person. He said that it wasn't about your capacity in mathematics and analysis and this, that, and the other that bankers do. So in other words, it wasn't about his expertise, it was about minding his back. And anyhow, he was smart enough that he found a way to retire early, and he used his life in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna also was kind to him, didn't make him eager to come into more and more into the banking world. Instead, like, this is so ugly, get out of here. But now we know how to do something with money, we'll get out of here. Hare Krishna. Okay, dear devotees, so selfless service, this is where we've begun today. Ram Sundar Prabhu, you are there in Thailand with Paramananda Prabhu. Paramananda Prabhu has been getting ready to say something, but we're going to hear first from you, if you will kindly speak for us. Ram Sundar Prabhu, as you can see, saffron-clad brahmachari. He's also very bright. He knows the whole Prema Dharma Deva Stotram from beginning to end. And you can pick a random verse and ask him the meaning, and he'll be able to answer. And that's only, of course, that's not the only thing he's learned, but it's an indication to show. They've got bright, young brahmachari. So now, after all of that, be humble. Be tolerant. Don't expect honor from others. Now, you know, if you have some quality, you're going to have to digest praise, but also if you know, as you become praised, don't forget you've got to digest insult, and don't think, oh, no one insults me. Don't worry, Krishna can arrange lots of insults. And see whether we can digest that as well as the honor. Ram Sundar Prabhu, over to you, microphone.
Dhanyavad, Maharaj. Dhanyavad, everyone.
Are you getting paid for helping the devotees?
Some things need maintenance that cost money, and Krishna Priya and Paramananda are very merciful for that. But you know, I would like it all to just be service to them, and whatever money is made, they can keep for their service, you know. So short answer, no.
Okay, well, that's what I was expecting and knowing, actually. But you're very humble. Yes, Prabhu. So please, I shall now be quiet. That's given you a few seconds to think of what you're going to say.
There's this one quote I read about Gurudev. And I mean, for me, I think maybe it's like one of the best quotes I've heard, but it's quite long. But the gist of it is to not worry so much about like our present we're conditioned, yes, of course, but he said you don't need to fear any like illusory environment, because we have like Guru Maharaj is always with us, and he's always, you know, giving his merciful glance. And he said that as long as like we are sincere and pray for his mercy, then certainly he will help. And he said that, like, quoted Das Goswami, Srila Ranganath Das Goswami, saying that like when our enemies, our internal enemies like lust, anger, greed, and all these things are trying to consume us, that we must call loudly like the name of our masters, the name of the Vaishnavas, and certainly like they will help you and give you their shelter. And he said, so like by the mercy of Guru Maharaj, we shall like, when no matter what time, like time, you know, time will pass on, but we will receive like a strong final service position by Guru Maharaj's grace. And so he's like, in the end, he said, so all I can say is just proceed, proceed, proceed. So that's very hope giving to just continue and know that, like, I mean, you can't like put, like you were saying in the beginning, selfless service. So there, like time, you can't put a demand or anything. We have to accept the idea that we can wait, you know, for infinity. It doesn't matter. But certainly by Guru Maharaj's mercy, everything's possible. So.
And where do you want to go, Ramsundar Prabhu? What is your ambition?
Well, if I have such audacity to say, just to follow in the footsteps of the Vaishnavas, especially you. So.
And where are those footsteps taking? Maybe not my, we're talking about the Vaishnavas here, not my footsteps. Okay, where are those footsteps taking you? Have you got some hint?
I mean, back to Gurudev for us, and we know that Gurudev resides in Vrindavan, so.
That's what I was expecting to hear. Okay, you don't get paid, and you do want to go to Vrindavan. And when any obstacle will come on the way, Maya comes calling, knocking on the door with many wonderful proposals, then what are we going to do? Call out the name of the guardians of the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Yes, beautiful quote, of course. All right, seated beside you with a reservoir of nectar ready to give us a drop or two of, or maybe more. See if we can open the tap of the reservoir and hear from Paramananda Prabhu. Kindly.
It's a test of humility, Maharaj, this morning. And the top is certainly rusty.
Oh dear.
Needs few drops of mercy, which I cannot say I haven't received. We all receive that. Question is more like what to do with it. I always remember how Govinda Maharaj said, when I was saying that I'm utterly unqualified for what he is asking me for. And he said that I have given you so much. How long you been with me? I have given you so much. Are you saying that I was incapable to give you that mercy that is necessary for what I'm asking you? I'm not asking you to do anything that is above your qualification, and I will give you full support. Anyhow, all these stories about remuneration in our service, whenever thinking about getting any remuneration, it's our surrender is causeless. We were quoting this morning a verse by Srimati Radharani where he's saying that a drop of that nectar, a drop of Krishna consciousness is enough to make you a beggar. You will leave absolutely everything. You will be just looking for more of those drops. Ready to give absolutely everything. You will forget your desires. You will forget absolutely everything. The whole world will be forgotten. And you will be ready, like in Guru Maharaj's words, to risk everything and may not get anything in return. So that is the mood, a general mood, to give it all and don't expect absolutely anything in return. There's this story that we learned about when we just joined Krishna consciousness about the kirtans in Shiva Sangam. They were behind closed doors, Mahaprabhu with his parshads. And so many people, so many devotees, aspiring devotees, heard about them, and they wanted to be a part of it. They heard some absolutely wonderful things about what was going on behind the closed door in Shiva Sangam. So one devotee, Mukunda, he came, he approached, and then the kirtan was going on, and during the break, someone brought his humble plea to Mahaprabhu. He's asking if he can be admitted to participate. Mahaprabhu said, maybe after millions and millions of lifetimes, he will be qualified to enter. And that answer was brought in front of Mukunda. And I'm thinking, if I receive such answer, I will be completely demolished. I will probably lose all my faith right there, right on the spot. But not Mukunda. He started ecstatically dancing. And devotees who brought this answer to him were very perplexed. They thought, why are you so happy? He's saying millions and millions of lifetimes. Don't you understand? How long is that? He said, compared to what I'm aspiring for, this is just a moment. I'm aspiring for such a wonderful thing that the millions and zillions of lifetimes is nothing for that. And that prospect, that hope is more than enough for me. I'm not asking for anything else. I'm satisfied. And I shall wait for that moment. And I shall serve, I shall give myself wholly to the service to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when that was expressed from the heart of Mukunda, immediately Mahaprabhu sent somebody out and said, call him in. And then to watch his morality perspective. No wonder, but Mahaprabhu, you have just said, after millions and millions of lifetimes, and Mahaprabhu smiled, that time have already passed. He is ready. It's inconceivably beautiful and hope-giving. So yes, we're not asking absolutely anything. And I always remember the prayers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his Sharanagati songs, which are wonderful to read, wonderful to sing, wonderful to contemplate about in the company of the Vaishnavas, where he's saying, I don't care where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be, who I'm going to be. All I pray, let me be useful for you. Let me serve you in any capacity, in any form, in any circumstance. Heavens, hell, earth, dog body, insect body, human body. Give me that opportunity. So I have that connection, service connection with you. I desire nothing else. So use me. And that the same thing was expressed by Srila Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, on the in his Jaladutta diaries. He didn't know where he was going. It's like going into completely unknown, speaking of Sharanagati. So he was going to some dark continent, and that's how he described it. People that followed knew nothing about Krishna consciousness. They knew nothing about just basic human principles that are so evident, self-evident. And yet he was going there. And he was praying on the Jaladutta board. And he said, please, I don't know why you're sending me there. So many challenges came to me during this journey. I don't know what you want from me. But if you want anything from me, then pull the strings, make me dance, make me dance, make me dance. That was expression and something to remember forever. That's all I can say, Maharaj.
In your humility, you say that is all you can say. But yes, wonderful examples. And we cannot imitate also the great devotees, and we have to be honest to ourselves. I was thinking just then that if we are told, oh, after 1 million lifetimes, then we may, come to Krishna consciousness or something like this, we won't even be so audacious to actually see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we may actually think, oh my goodness, then let's go and do something else. I mean, who knows what this, we won't think about what the something else is, but let's abandon all this and just be like everybody else. They all look quite happy. They're all going to work. They know what their day is going to be. We very often don't know what our day is going to be. But the real devotees, then they're just joyful to know that they will be reconnected after so long. Hare Krishna, and many things in this world, it is all about adjustment. And we do have, or did have, Ganga Lila Devidas. Yes, Ganga Lila did it. I don't know if you're somewhere where you're able to say a few words, but you are here with the wealth of Srila Prabhupada also. And I am sure you've also got in your reservoir something you can share to us all, either now or in a few minutes. Give you a little time to think, but you're ready, well done. I'm happy.
I have something inside of me what is just like, okay, I'm ready, but honestly, about what?
about doing selfless service, not wanting something in exchange. I mean, this is
Yeah.
a theme, but as you wish to express.
Actually, you know, I have been doing this very much as a meditation for myself. Like, please show me where my service is. Please, I've been trying to have my prayer go that way, to like just give me services. And what happens is that I'm waking up to, oftentimes things are right in front of me and I am doing them and I'm performing, but I may have a lack of awareness of that is service. Even if I water my plants, I think I can sometimes do things in a dull way. And the whole practice, it's been a couple of months of please show me my service, has made me move throughout my day with realizing like, oh my God, that's also a service to Krishna. So I feel better, because when I started it, it was making me feel worse, because I was thinking like, I don't get to do like grand things. I would think, have like a program in my house and take everyone on Harinam. And then I don't know what happened. I wasn't thinking it. It did not come from my thinking mind. It came by, I pray and I start to do the little things. And especially also today, I feel there's people in front of me and they may need some support. And today I took some people, one was feeling very, very down, lost the job, crying, feeling so bad. And I just give my time and also my intuition. I say, we go to this organic farm, I give you a tour. And then some others joined, and then I speak of the nature a little bit, and how we are really God's children. And then it's so sweet to know, okay, that's my service right now. That's my service to them. And yeah, that was really moving today, that that this person who was very sad and crying about a loss of job, and what they make it mean to them. Because I think it's really easy that people go through some pre-programmed reactions towards people's hurts, like, are you going to be all right? Or oh, well, something better will happen. But sometimes it's just like important to hold space. And in that space where people feel, for example, such a thing like a loss, I think it's a really great place to offer service and love, and also take people to like a safe place, like that organic farm. And we're walking around, and I point out like fruit, because I volunteer there sometimes. So I feel like it's, I feel home there. And then we started to eat some fruit off the trees, and I feel so much how a person comes around and how we start to be comfortable with talking about the presence of God, and they were from different areas of life, and I when I listened to Paramananda Prabhu, it made me actually realize that I can think of myself like, okay, I have to wait a million lifetimes. It's really not going to happen. Or I can take this very lifetime and just look for, where is it coming through? Where are those open pores? And I get to actually experience it here and there, because I feel it in my heart. And I think it really makes me more humble also with myself. I'm a little bit more gentle with myself as I move throughout my day, and make what I used to think like, oh, that's not important, or this is not important, or that means nothing, or this is not a spiritual thing, that is not a spiritual thing, that's nothing to do with spiritual. I am actually torturing myself when I'm going on like that. And it's been a very beautiful practice, very beneficial for me. It's like a balm for the heart.
Jai. And do you read Guru Maharaj's books? I mean, like on a regular basis?
Yes, I have a practice. So I have I sit there in front of my altar every morning, I do my rounds, and then afterwards I read. So, and I interchange them. And actually right now, I I recently, as you know, may remember, is like I was in Navadvip and they opened up the bookstore for us, and I bought a couple of books. I brought some real books, and I have that. It's a hardcover with dark blue linen, and it's with gold, and it's the Sharanagati. And
Yes.
part of me wants to run through it and go like, oh, that's really short. And then I'm like, I pace myself because it's verses. Yeah.
And that is extremely relevant for everyone and shows us, it illustrates from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's point of view, which is the pure devotee's point of view, how to lead also family life with responsibilities in this world. So it is wonderful for everyone to go through. And in one sense, you say pace yourself, but when you get to the end, do start at the beginning again.
Hare Krishna. Oh, and I have something else to share. It's like it's becoming a thing. It was like, I remember Chitami and we started that a while ago, and it was like funny. But now it's actually I hear your tone of voice, and instead of excuse my language for just a second, instead of going like, oh fuck or shit, instead of that, it's like we're doing the oh dear.
Oh,
And
that's
trying to give it your tone, and then we set it right in the head. Nothing is shit, and it's sorry about that, but oh dear. And I wanted to share that because it's so sweet, because it's whatever. Yes, so you're coming through, and then it feels different already.
Well, all I can think of is, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyhow, very beautiful. And I was also wondering if you're reading Srila Guru Maharaj's books too, because that sweetness which comes with anything that we do, we must see that Krishna is actually guiding us. He's our personal tutor. People are in college and they have general teachers, but you get a personal tutor. And yes, Krishna is our personal tutor, and he wants us to see him in everything. You've read Bhagavad Gita, etc. But this is very much Guru Maharaj's point of view too. It's not so much what we do, but the mood in which we do it. And so selflessness, and I also quote that you also said just now that you volunteer at the fruit farm, at the fruit orchards. So this is also an indication of understanding what is Bhagavad Gita, but understanding what is that message, that selflessness is life, not exploitation. And so from helping out anywhere, this is very good. And when we can help out, the more that we do selfless activity, the more, as Guru Maharaj says, Krishna will reveal himself from behind the screen. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Sharanagati, of course it's a wonderful book. So wonderful. It has its certificate, as it were, though they wouldn't say certificate. It's recommendation, acknowledgement from Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, because it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book. Their grandfather Guru or great-grandfather Guru, like this, is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But Guru Maharaj and Gurudev are telling us that everything is there. If we only have Sharanagati, this booklet, there we have the whole principle, the whole everything of what is surrender, what is Krishna consciousness. And its title is Surrender, Sharanagati. And when we have everything, then the wonderful thing about the spiritual world, we can have everything and more than everything and more than everything. So this way we've got also Prapanna Jivanamritam, which is not only compiled, but structured and explained by Guru Maharaj himself with the aphorisms, which Guru Maharaj has made in full knowledge, full knowledge of what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given in Sharanagati. So again, a wonderful book by Guru Maharaj, the Sharanagati, the Prapanna Jivanamritam, to be read in due course if you haven't read it yet, but to become familiar with the Sharanagati of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then the Prapanna Jivanamritam, will be a great joy for you to read, and for anybody who's like, understanding and wanting to understand the principles of surrender. And Guru Maharaj, in the beginning of that book, is saying that because surrender is the foundation of devotion, keeping ourselves back is not devotion. Devotion means selfless giving. And because it is the great necessity in our life, without the foundation, how can you build a house? Because it is a great necessity in life, we should always discuss, talk, and understand about what it is, so that we can put that into our daily lives. And selflessness is the basis. And this Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita always. You need to be active, but not active only if you get something in return. That we need to be active and not finally, but it comes to active out of love and affection. The automatic things which will come, the no consideration of anything else. Just automatically we're drawn and active and want to assist, want to help, and we pray to have a little place in that service world. But we see so many things are happening. Can I have a little part to play in this world? I want to help too. So beautiful. Kangalila, we're very happy for your contribution.
Thank you very much. And I will take you up on the Papanjivramrita, I'm probably not saying that right, the reading, because I haven't read it and you mentioned it so many times. First, I could never say the word, and actually like it starts to pop into my head, Papanjivramrita. And so I'm driving up to SoCal, the ashram, the Seva ashram, for the Govinda Mela, and I know they have books. So that's my chance. I can pick it up.
And those books are available, and I know that devotees, and if I don't know exactly what their inventory is, but if they don't have it, I know that they are in London. They got many of that book in London, and I know devotees are going from London to the festival, so we can definitely arrange for them to bring some copies, and specifically a copy for you if they don't have them. So.
Oh, that's very good. Yes, and Vishaka is also coming, and she stays in my house for a week or so. So I could actually also see if she has one, and I have the pleasure to host her here.
Okay. And anyway, I can also ensure we can take a copy. I'm in
thanks
London.
For getting that going for me. I'm ready to step it up. I appreciate it. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, well, I'm in London right now, by the way. You can't tell because it's just a wall, isn't it? But I'm in London right now. And I will be visiting through to Vishaka and the devotees in Hungary after maybe a month. I mean, on the way back to Italy. I'm in London, Ireland, and then we'll be in Italy. They're having a festival. Some festival program arranged by Kanu Priya, who's arranged the new ashram there. So anyway, if we have notice, we can take from here some books, some things.
Yes, thank you so much. I will take you up on it. That sounds wonderful.
All right. And I see a hand. I see a hand, a digital hand. And it's a right hand also. So this is very good. This is very good. Mr. Zoom knows it should be the right hand that we greet. Good.
Raj, just something come to me on the same subject that is very good to read and remember. It's one of the most wonderful chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where every chapter is wonderful and most wonderful, as you know. It's called The Devotional Service of Madhavendra Puri. Really, it's heart melting and a heart wrenching in a good sense of it to read about his mood of devotion, his service to Gopal, his service to Krishna, Gopal, Gopinath, so many names of Krishna. And what kind of mood he is setting the highest standard of surrender and highest standard of service and devotion. And hence the name is the devotional service of Manavendra Puri. And it was always, and I hope always will be, my personal inspiration. So I would highly recommend to read that chapter.
Jai. Now we've read Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can say probably many times, but at least we're going to say several times. And now my mind is also running to that chapter and eager to read it again too. Hare Krishna. And there's another, I mean, every book, every chapter is wonderful. And there's a wonderful book. It's called The Loving Search for the Lost Servant. There's another wonderful book called Revealed Truth. There's another wonderful, okay. There's a whole library of wonderful books once we get started to think about it. Wonderful books, wonderful chapters. Rasa, the sweetness, the taste that everyone's looking for. Anu Krishna Devirasi, you're eager to say something. No, yes.
Yeah, Dandavats Gurudev, Dandavats everyone. Oh, I'm just so happy to be here. We just came from another meeting and there was a very sweet reading of Ramasundar Prabhu and Paramananda Prabhu of Revealed Truth. And it's so, I cannot explain what's happening. What's happening, that what occurred for me to be here and with all of you guys. It's so incredible. I cannot explain. And then I was thinking about, I was given the opportunity by Trivikram Maharaj to work on the translation, on the Brazilian version of Revealed Truth. We call it A Verdade Revelada. And actually, this is a seva that I've been doing, and I do expect something in return. I do expect that he will ask me to do another one, please. I want to keep on doing another one and another book, please. So it's been so wonderful to be with him making this translation. Not the translation is done. I'm making the diagrammation because I do work with books, but I'm an architect. What am I doing here? Because but something has happened that Krishna arranged everything for me to be here with you, all of you guys, to meet in person, many of you, and I hope to meet you all again. And I just can't, I'm shaking. I just can't explain what it's so wonderful. And I love you all, guys. And thank you for everything. Thank you, Gurudev, for everything.
Hare Krishna. And can you share a little bit of what you heard today being read by Ramasundar Prabhu and Paramananda Prabhu from Revealed Truth?
Yes, actually, we've been working on, we are exactly in the same chapter. Can you believe it? We are working in the same chapter in the Brazilian revision of everything. We are correcting the punctuation and everything. And I remember when Trivikram Maharaj was reading, and today Ramasundar was reading again about it is a chincha. It is, everything is a chincha, is inconceivably, and it's unexplainable. It's what happened that the infinite has manifested inside my heart, that it's quite finite. And there are many things that are a chincha. We were in chapter 12, I guess. And then it's inconceivable, it's unexplainable. And I just remembered, and there's a part that he speaks about Einstein, and he said that, I read it once, that the most unexplainable thing of the universe is that it is explainable. So it is weird that the universe that seems like a messy place, it is explainable then through science. And then there is a point that science can't explain anymore. So there is Srimad Bhagavatam and know those big, great scriptures that explains everything else. So it's wonderful, and I'm so grateful to be here to get in touch with this treasure. And Ilamoy just sent me the greatest treasure of all books that we have in Brazilian Portuguese that I haven't read it yet, and I want to read all, and I don't know anything yet, but I want to know more. And thank you everyone to keep me in this path. You are great souls, and I'm fortunate to be here. Thank you.
And we appreciate your expression to keep us enthused and why we are here in Krishna consciousness, not to take it for granted, not to take it as ordinary. All these things, Gurudev is always trying to impress upon us that what we've come across, it is very rare and very valuable. And we may think, oh, so many people know about Krishna consciousness, so many books are available, it's all on the internet, but it is very rare in the course of time. And even those who know, then just to keep the book on the shelf, not to practice what is being presented to us, not to aspire for that, just to kind of keep it as a hobby or something in the background. More rare, more rare, more rare. So we must, as Gurudev will say, utilize our fortune. This is not a new expression for us all, but we must remind ourselves of that, because that fortune is with us today, and tomorrow we don't know what fortune is with us, where the waves of the world take us, and take us even for communication and for the books and everything else. Now we have so much access. Yes, wonderful. Thank you, Anna Krishna Devidasi. And I know a little bit late, but Radha Sundari Devidasi, last week we were hoping for a glimpse of Mayapur, or last time. Have you got a window near you? You can show us the external cover of Mayapur. A coconut tree.
I sent her a message early, and to Priyanana too, to give us a tour, but they haven't read the messages.
Oh, okay. No problem. Okay, no problem. And we know, you see, the devotees are responsible. She's got a daughter, household mother, and a job, and devotees have to do things in the world. And on today's Sunday, it's quite likely a busy day for seva within the temple.
Oh, but she's here, Radha Sundari.
Aha. Govinda, Govinda. I see the
Maybe
light.
her connection. Yes, maybe it's her connection.
Dandavad. So your microphone is on. Please just mention a few words there from Mayapur and where you are taking us.
I wasn't behind, so I can only read.
Yes, it's her connection.
Yes,
Now you're back.
Now, yes, now you're back. Just see. We'll have to consider it as the new Mayapur.
Not very good, but not very.
There we are. Grass of Mayapur, trees of Mayapur. And just under this covering, Mahaprabhu is chanting and dancing. The Leela of Navadip Mayapur continuing. Mahaprabhu never leaves Navadip as Krishna never leaves Vrindavan.
It's a windy season. We have a storm almost every evening.
Okay, good. It's meant to be.
And then maybe rainy season starting.
Yes, good. Jai. Well, we don't seem to have much sound coming from Radhasundari's.
Maybe because of the wind.
Yeah, I think it's trying to cancel out the sound because of the wind, because actually we can't hear the wind, but it also we
Oh.
can't hear you. Yeah.
I see.
Oh, but you're pointing to the temple. We can just see the dome of the Chandradoya Mandir there, or perhaps that's the dome of Srila Prabhupada's Pushpa Samadhi.
No, it's this TLVP, the Vedic Planetarium, the new
Uh-huh.
temple which they're building. Now we can see it from many sides. When you go swim on the boat to the Ganga, from each side of like around, you can see the dome. Everywhere you go, you can see this. And it's near the Samadhi, Prabhupada Samadhi.
Jai.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Thank you. Spasibo Bolshoi, thank you very much, Radha Sundari Didi. A touch of Mayapur, a touch of Navadip, the holiest of pilgrimage places. From Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we learn that all the pilgrimage places in Kali Yuga are reducing in their potency, their capacity for rendering their spiritual magnetism to others, except for Navadip. And Navadip is increasing in its potency, increasing in its power. And so to have any touch of Mayapur and Navadip is very wonderful. And it's May the 21st. It seems to me just a little early for the monsoon to come. We generally would consider it to come at the beginning of June, but it is good that it has come, because in Europe at least, then not just the devotees, but everyone sees how fragile is nature. If rain does not come, then you become very aware of the necessity of rain. And we've been in India when the monsoon has been late, and then all the gossip, the talk, the anxiety is about, oh, when will the monsoon come? Everything's burning up, we're going to lose the crops, the food supply will be less, all of these things. But Europe last year, we had a very dry, not only summer, but a dry year. And then this year there is rain, but it reminds me a little bit like the COVID. Everybody was all in anxiety about the COVID, but it surprises me that now it's like declared over. It's almost, people have blocked it out of their mind that, oh, there's this danger at any moment of, disease, death, and all these things. And with the rains in Europe having come this year, then everyone's kind of just forgotten about their anxiety. They're taking the rain for granted that it is come. Oh, everything will be all right. But we know that drought, that famine, that all these things, they come in a cyclic way. And we can think that, if the rain didn't come this year, then what about the water for all these giant cities? What about the water to feed the rice and wheat and all the fields like this? It can be quite a drama. And this way, farmers in general are everywhere around the world that we know. Farmers, they are quite godly persons. And they may be praying to, and they do pray to the Lord for rain, and they do give thanks, the harvest, Thanksgiving festival, etc. But like Ganga Leela Didi was pointing out, we should be God conscious We should be not only God conscious, but Krishna conscious, the Supreme Lord who is sweetness, beauty, everything conscious, and who's behind everything. We should be Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious all the time, not only when it suits us, when we want him to be our servitor, but all the time. And that is Goloka Vrindavan. And we cannot make any complaint against the environment, because as Guru Maharaj, Gurudev point out to us repeatedly, the environment, we have earned our environment. So we can't complain about everybody. We're in this world's association because of our own misdeeds. But Krishna, because now by some good fortune, we've come to actually have something in our heart in appreciation and in search for the Lord. Now by our good fortune, the Lord is helping us. He wants us to come home. He's happy that we're coming to him. And so now we've got this opportunity to change our view of the world and not to complain about others around us, our environment, because that's been earned by ourselves, but to make everything as a catalyst, as something to help us on our focus and on our journey back home. And as Ram Sundar Prabhu did say, yes, we are going, if we can be so audacious with our view on Goloka Vrindavan. But we're allowed to be a little audacious because our masters have said, yes, that's the focus, not only generic, some general or more specific, but most specific focus. And this, by the grace of Gauranga and Vaishnavas and Guru and Gauranga, will all come by their grace. So not by calculative doing something, so I must get a result, but entering into that upward flow, that upward current, by showing ourselves willing to do the devotional practices that Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Srila Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, that they're all showing to us. So chanting our japa nicely, making properly our life centered on Krishna instead of on so many other things. And selflessness is the very essence of Bhagavad Gita. It's the very essence of spiritual life. And as we need rain, you see, we need rain. Rain comes and the monsoon comes and everything gets nourished. But we also need air. Without rain, without fresh water, nothing. Without air, there will be nothing. Without so many things, there will be nothing. So in our Krishna consciousness life, we need faith, we need surrender, we need guidance, we need activity in devotional service, we need the holy name. All these things are necessary.
Dear Maharaj, there is a question from Priyanana in the chat and a beautiful quote from Paramananda Prabhu. I know it's late, but please.
Oh, long quote.
But before that, it is the question of Priyanana.
Where is Srila Prabhupada Swami Maharaj's original samadhi? Oh, it's in Vrindavan. And when you see pictures taken like from the road of the beautiful Vrindavan temple, of the Chandradoya Mandir, the ISKCON's temple, Srila Prabhupada's temple, the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan. But when you see from a distance, you see some arches. The left arch, I mean, so this is taken outside the temple, not inside the temple. It's taken a picture of the temple buildings. Then it's the very dignified, large, domed temple on the left side as you're looking from the road, which is basically looking from the front of the temple, but from well outside. So his actual samadhi is there. Srila Prabhupada passed away there, and his room was there. Where he passed away is there. And this is also one of our places on Vrindavan Parikrama to give our honor to Srila Prabhupada there.
So Maharaj, where the golden murti is, this is the place?
Or I'm mixing things.
Maybe it's been golden colored.
There was one golden murti that comes to my mind, but maybe that's in another place. And I forgot about Krishna Balaram's murti.
Well,
Is it
come
made?
to think of it, I think a golden colored, I think that is golden colored, but I hadn't.
I think so, because I was just there. I visited it in February, and yes, the Murti of Srila Prabhupada is in gold.
Mm-hmm. Thank
And you can also go around, and then there's a footprint on the behind, and people lean their forehead to the footprint, and you can go around the Hava. It's wonderful, very luxurious.
And now we've been, as we enter from Navadip we've come to Vrindavan, and we've come to do Parikrama of Srila Prabhupada. Very beautiful. I must say, you took me off guard, because when we come in front of Srila Prabhupada's murti, somehow not thinking it's golden or any other kind of thing. It's Srila Prabhupada is there, and especially there. Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj said that Guru Maharaj, he's now living in his Samadhi Mandir. When devotees wanting to, outside devotees, not like our family devotees, when outside devotees want to come up to Guru Maharaj's bhajan kutir, then Gurudev was not enthusiastic. Like that's private. But where is Guru Maharaj now? He's residing in his Samadhi Mandir, Srila Gurudev told. So we can also feel this with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, where is his, like the principal place? He's obviously present in so many places, but the principal place, he's residing in his Samadhi Mandir. And his dear temple of Radha, of Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. Maybe, okay, well, no, but 7 minutes over. Paramanandaru, oh, it's not such a long quote. Paramanandaru, oh, Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo. This is verse 56 of chapter 5 of Brahma Samhita. Paramanandaru, please read for us. We love to hear. We can hear this again and again, however over time we are.
Maharaj, we don't have to read the Sanskrit, but we should focus on the meaning of the Sanskrit verse. And it is, and really this is a wonderful, wonderful verse. But I have to mention that Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Sharanagati prayer says, wherever we're serving the Lord, trying to fulfill his desires selflessly, with full sincerity, there is Galoka Vrindavan. And now I will read the translation. I worship the transcendental seat known as Svetadvip, where as loving consorts, the Lakshmis, and their unalloyed spiritual essence, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where their soil is the purpose gem, wish-fulfilling gem. All water is nectar, every word is a song, every step is a dance. The flute is the favorite companion. Effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable. Where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away, even for the space of a half of a moment. That realm is known as Galoka only to a very few self-realized souls.
Jai, what a beautiful place as our destination for today's Back to Basics. Thank you all very much. And a quick mention for Rupanuga Prabhu. He's being very selfless and giving facility for Krishna Kanta and Bhakti Lalita for rejuvenation of their health by giving them opportunity to be there in Thailand and giving them shelter, giving them all facility there. And now they are there, and we look forward to them getting good health for doing more and more service, but to get relief from any difficulties. We always want good for the devotees, and we don't like to see suffering in anybody, and especially in the devotees, and especially those devotees, well, any devotee, but those devotees who are good devotees of Gurudev. So, well done, Rupanuga Prabhu. We appreciate very much. All right, and well done to you all. You are all good souls. And Suresh Krishna also joined us in the meantime. And Dustin, I did see you a little bit earlier, Dustin, as you came in. And I think we said our greetings to everyone. If not, then please excuse. And this week, I only have one connection. I didn't see Facebook, but for the devotees who are with us on Facebook and the devotees who still with us on the recorded version, we're very happy to have you with us, of course. Jai Srila Jai Srila Wonderful, Jai Wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Oh, Seva Rupa Devi Dasi joined us also. You were not, oh, you were with us earlier. Yes, sorry. Wonderful Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. And Jai Wonderful Srila Bhakti Rakha Kshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Wonderful Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. And Jai, our grand and wonderful grandfather Guru Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai. Present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. To all the assembled devotees Ki Jai. And with our appreciation, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyas Cha, Kripa Sindhuvya Eva Cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. And appreciate
Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Are you
Joy.
trying to
Maharaj, that was from Nirupama, from Mathura Vasini, from Bhakti Shri Rupa Vaikanath Maharaj, from Divya Shakti, Michael Madhava Thompson, and there's Sharma Manish. I don't know him, but offering obeisances and saying Radhe Radhe.
He could be in London here. We met Sharma, and anyway, could be from London. It's possible. Oh, okay, we're over time. Yesterday, by the way, a big jai to all of the team here in London, who yesterday they arranged a big festival and everything, and they distributed 160 plates of prasadam. 80 was for outside and 80 were here. So really we had a grand gathering here in the West London temple yesterday, and well done to all of the team here. So maybe Sharma is one of those who was here because some are asking about, where are you online? So anyhow, to all of you, I was going to say greetings, but now's the time to say goodbye, isn't it? So some separation until we meet again soon. And as most of you know, in Bengal, they do say Ashchi, which means I'm coming rather than I'm going. In other words, we're going so we can come back. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Danda.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So beautiful. Very